A showdown loomed at our last round of Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Racing. Last year's champ Paul Whibley pulled away to his first win of the year, but our new points leader Josh Strang became our new champion with a consistent finish. The finale is next with one last battle between these two champions.
Playing in the dirt, face full of mud, sacrificing flesh and blood. Playing in the dirt, digging in the ground. Oh, now I'm asking you, where you gonna be when it all goes down, 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 down?
It's time to go Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Racing for the final time in 2010. Hello everyone, Jason Wygant, your host of Racer TV. It's the AMSOIL Ironman GNCC in Indiana, and we are turning this race pink, raising funds and awareness for the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation. The Ironman will offer up the typical array of obstacles and a new competitor as our XC2 champion Caleb Russell moves up to XC1. Here's Krista Shaw with more.
Caleb, first off, I'd like to say congratulations on your second XC2 championship. Since you've wrapped up the championship already, you've decided to come to the Ironman today and race XC1. What are your expectations for today?
Definitely to go out and get a podium and just have a good ride altogether, you know. I think I can get a podium. I don't think that's too much to ask for, but I just need to stay consistent all day and stay with the lead group.
Yeah, you've definitely had good finishes overall all season XC2, so I think you have a good shot.
Yeah, hopefully that's the case at the end of the day, but you know, it's a lot of different conditions we've never seen here before in a long time, so it's going to be really tough with the dust. Hopefully I can get a good start and stay with the lead pack all day, and then hopefully be there for the end to get on the podium.
Now Russell did have a second and a third overall finish this year. Here he is on the number 5 when racing from the second row. We'll see how he can do from row 1. And he's going to be riding a 250 4-stroke, so he's going to be outgunned on horsepower, but he doesn't care. And that's the big story because our championship wrapped up. Josh Strang clinched it at our last round. So basically, this is the gloves-off showdown. No reason to think about points. It's time to go for the win. And they're off into turn 1. Big thanks to Rodney Tomlin, our track announcer. Looks like Whibley on the Yamaha is out front, but that's actually Russell on the 250 grabbing the whole shot in his first shot ever in XC2. And there is Josh Strang, our new GNCC champ, mid-pack and running the helmet cam today. And you can hear the rocks just pelting off of his helmet, off his chest protector. Man. And it's only going to get worse. Once we get into the woods, there's going to be no room to make passes. So he's got to get aggressive out here in this stuff. No, Charlie Mullins, the rider battling Strang for the title this year, gets in front of him. So that was his chance to make hay while the sun shines, so to speak. You got to make those moves out in the field. Strang couldn't do it. And how about this? The kid, Caleb Russell, taking off right now ahead of Whibley, who's in the number 2 spot. Whibley running the number 1 plate for the last time. 2009 champ. That's Corey Buttrick in 3rd. And you can see some dust here. That's the different conditions that Russell was talking about. Now this is XC2 where Russell normally races. So look for a showdown today. You got Stuart Baylor there in the middle. Yamaha rider along the outside is going to grab the start. That is Daniel Sims from nearby Greencastle, Indiana, grabbing the whole shot. Of course, all the whole shots pay money courtesy of MotorcycleUSA.com. And now looks like Jesse Robinson has moved into the lead in this class. And there's Jason Thomas, second in points in this division, way back in the pack. So here's Russell. He earned overall number 5 last year, but we've never seen him run that number because he normally runs number 1 in XC2. What a ride. Out front early. And you would think he has the least horsepower in this group. Interesting, you have a 250 out front, a 450 second, then a 350 in 3rd. And 4th there on the Kawasaki is Jordan Rose, visiting us out of England. Jimmy Jarrett in the number 5 spot, and here comes Mullins in 6th. And you see all the riders running those pink number plate backgrounds since it is Breast Cancer Awareness Day on the GNCC Tour. Here's Strang. Got his work cut out for him. Not only not able to make passes early, but he'll have to work through the dust. And meanwhile, it looks like Whibley has worked through Russell to grab the lead. We're deep into the woods here. I have never seen dust in the woods here at the Ironman. The fields might get a little dusty at times, but There's been a tremendous drought in this area. You won't see any dust down here in the creeks, as Whibley puts a little distance between himself and Russell, but KR has stated he just wants to finish up on the podium today and run with the leaders, not necessarily try to run away. And here's Buttrick, who was second to Russell in last year's XC2 standings, and then KTM moved him up. And they are dialing in that 2011 KTM 350 for an assault on this championship next year. And expect Russell and Buttrick, and possibly even Charlie Mullins, to be riding that bike for KTM next year in XC1. It has been announced that Mullins is making the move to KTM. Oh, and Russell, on this new hill we call the Ironman wall, gets sideways at the top. And wisely, Buttrick is going to take the long way around. Here's Jarrett in the Geico Kawasaki, and he's going to get right to the top, right through the middle. And here's Rose. I can't even tell in the dust if Russell has gotten out of there. I think he has. So he's either in second or third, depending on how long that long cut that Buttrick took will take. Meanwhile, Josh Strang just clipped a tree. He's got a lot of work to do. Stay with us. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Early in the game here at the Amsoil Ironman GNCC, here is Paul Whibley, the Axeman out of New Zealand. Struggled mightily this year, transitioning from Kawasaki's to Yamahas and trying to defend that championship. But here in the latter stages of the year, he has been on fire. Oh, Russell goes down. And the rookie, in his first ever race in the XC1 class, just tips over in the water. And just like that, Whibley will extend his lead even further. And there he is to the top of the Ironman wall again. And that's Buttrick up to the number 2 spot. So Russell losing to, oh, and now Buttrick goes down as well. And there's Russell still in the creek, which would lead you to think he has some bike problems after dumping in the water. So Buttrick's gone by, Mullins has gone by. Here comes Strang, and there is Russell still on the side of the track. So, man, his first ever run in the XC1 class started brilliantly with the MotorcycleUSA.com hole shot, and it's been all downhill from there. Here's Strang, and you hear what it's like, the fans pointing out the lines to get up this hill. And he makes it to the top on the FMF Makita Suzuki, but right now Whibley is the man they're all gunning for. And like I was saying earlier, tough season for him at the beginning of the year, but he won our last race in Ohio. He has really started to come on strong lately, and what a way to end the season it would be if he could do it with 2 straight victories. But looks like Mullins is now up to second, and he'll try to run Whibley down. And Jimmy Jarrett, who won a race a few weeks ago in upstate New York at Unadilla, is into third. So the crashes by Russell and Buttrick, they've gone backwards. Now we see Strang within view of the leaders for the first time today. So the kids were a tour de force early, but here we are a few laps into this race, and now the veteran contenders are the ones raging to the front. As we said earlier, Mullins, who raced with the Obermeyer Ampro Yamaha team this year, is switching to factory KTM next year. He will actually take the place of Nathan Canny, and we wish a get well soon to Canny, who crashed hard at our race a couple of weeks ago in Tennessee and is still on the mend. And he won this race last year. He is the king of the Ironman normally, but unfortunately Canny not able to compete today, and he is still on the lookout for a ride next year. There are some rumors that he may join Jarrett on the Geico team, but nothing is signed yet. Let's get back to the racing as it is here in 2010. Still Whibley leading Mullins, and Strang has gotten around Jarrett. He's up to third. And normally these muddy sections are tough on the boys. Oh, now that is Thad Duvall, the number 989. He's becoming a factor in this race as well. What I was going to say is normally the mud and the water, those are tough sections, but on a dusty racetrack like this, it is relief for these guys to get down to a section where they can actually see. Although I'll tell you, dust is hard enough to see through. It's even worse when you get some mud or water on your goggles and then you ride through the dust and the dust sticks to the lenses. Look at this line here. Riders trying different ways to get through. That was Jarrett and Duval all the way on the outside, Strang on the inside. All three have hooked up in a battle for the number 3 spot. To the top of the wall. And Whibley just makes it up. You hear the advice from the folks on the side of the track. Hit it hard. And Mullins does beautifully. Made up a little bit of time, I'd say, on Whibley through that section. Here is that battle. Strang, Jarrett, Duval. And all three make it to the top, and all three wisely put some distance between themselves. Duval could have probably ridden right up behind Jarrett, but he didn't want to be dusted out. So they're going to have to pick their spots very carefully. These areas in the woods, that's where you're going to have to make up time and try to make passes, but don't fall down in the creek right here, where Russell did earlier. And now we hear he is officially out when he dropped his bike in the creek, sucked a bunch of water into the airbox, and then when he tried to start the bike, it ingested water, and that is the end of his day. So better luck next year in the XC1 class for Caleb Russell. Here's Duval on the move. And Duval is a former XC2 champion as well in the 250, has really struggled with consistency on the big bikes. And he's looking for a ride next year, so he wants to put in a strong run. Yamaha looking to maybe sweep the top 3 in this event, but they'll of course have Strang to deal with as well. I think we're looking for a great finish today. Stay tuned. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Well, the series is over for 2010, so get ready for the 2011 Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Tour. Bring out your bike, your ATV, even if you got a utility quad sitting in the garage. Come on out and race it with us. We race ATVs on Saturdays, bikes on Sundays. We also have classes for youth riders as young as 6 years old on both days. So there's something for everyone out here, and that includes the international group, because look at this. The New Zealander, Paul Whibley, leads the way, and the Aussie, Josh Strang, is up to second. So Strang, after the bad start, has gotten around a bunch of riders. Jarrett, Mullins, Duval, Buttrick, and Russell have crashed their way to the back. Wow, there is Duval. Look at the right handlebar of his bike. It is bent down. Normally runs the bars a little bit laid back, but it is exceptionally bad now. So he has obviously crashed. And it looks now like Strang has gone all the way to the lead. Man, he has caught fire here at the midway point, and Whibley's not going to be happy about this. Here we are up to Ironman Hill. Whibley trying a new line to the left, and that was supposed to be the easier line. He barely made it to the top. And here's the kid, Duval. Duval still has the speed, but he has been working on the consistency. And, oh, you hear the cheers. We finally see Chris Bach for the first time today. He is an Indiana native, a rookie in XC1 this year, is in the top 5 in points. It has been a great season for him, and good to see him being able to strut his stuff in front of the home state fans. But I'll tell you who's strutting right now. It is Strang. He is pulled away from Whibley and is trying to show everyone why he is the 2010 Grand National Cross Country Champion. But look at Duval. He has not given up on his quest. He has never won one of these races overall. He has had so much bad luck since moving up to the pro class last year. There's Whibley. Let's see if Duval's able to make up any ground on these guys. Yeah, I'd say so. So it is a 3-horse fight now. And we'll update you with it in a minute. But now it's time for our Rocky Mountain Spotlight. Today we're looking at the Lex XC Spark Arrestor End Cap, which retails for $89.99. Spark Arrestor is an inexpensive way to add a USDA-approved Forest Service spark arrestor to your bike. It includes 2 interchangeable end pipes to give you the ability to tune for power and sound characteristics. Replaces the end cap on your stock silencer, and it looks cool because it's made out of carbon fiber. Think of Lex when choosing quality motorcycle exhaust parts. Where to get it? Well, of course, Rocky Mountain at ATVMC.com. And again, this part retails for only $89.99. So keep the woods ours. Don't burn them down. Don't shoot sparks with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Back to the action. Josh Strang has moved from outside the top 5 to the number 1 spot. And Paul Whibley is biding his time back here in second in the best case scenario, or he has no answer for Strang in second. I guess we'll find out by the end of this race. And there's Duvall, sagging right handlebar side and all, in third. Down to the creek comes Strang. And up to the wall. And that is nearly vertical, that section. And, oh, Whibley's back in the hunt. He's going for the most difficult line. He wants to shave off as much time as possible. Here comes Duvall. I was going to say this silt really slows the riders down. And by the way, I believe that was Caleb Russell there at the base of that hill pointing out lines for Duvall. Wait a minute. What has happened here in the field? That is Strang going slow and Whibley taking the lead back. And as they say in racing, Whibley's not going to ask questions until this one is over. But he's got to be wondering what happened to Josh Strang's charge. And Strang is just coasting through the field. Did he run out of fuel? Is something wrong with the bike? And he's going to have a discussion with Shane Nally, one of the technicians for Suzuki, as Whibley puts the hammer down and tries to get away. Here is Strang on cruise control. Now we go through the pits, and the word is that Strang has clogged his air filter in the dust, and he's got to pull in here for a change. Well, we've truly seen it all now. Stay tuned. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Well, it has been a war of attrition today here at the AMSOIL Ironman GNCC, and that's the way this man, Paul Whibley, likes it. Thad Duvall here in the number 2 spot will try to run him down on the last lap. It has been a long road to the front for this man, Chris Bach, the kid out of Indiana. And he's got to have a lot of people cheering him on this last go-around. Let's go back up front here to Whibley. Battled with Caleb Russell early. Russell tipped over in a creek. Battled with Corey Buttrick. Buttrick crashed. Battled with Josh Strang. Strang clogged his air filter. And now only this rider, Thad Duvall, is left with a shot to track him down. And Bach continuing to hammer down late in the race in third. Now word is that Duvall is closing. And look, yeah, he is definitely on the pace right now as he hits the rev limiter on that little bump. Bach and Whibley not nearly as aggressive in the last go-round. And looks like Glenn Carney on the Husky has moved up to 4th. Here we go, Whibley taking the easy line around this hill. But how much time does he have to play with? Duvall is charging and closing. And as much as look, Duvall going straight to the top. And he just gets his YZ450 over the crest, so he continues to close on Whibbs. Whibley takes the harder line up that hill. He's going to have to. He knows Duvall's back there. It's only about 8 seconds, the gap. Nice job by Duvall to get through that section, and look at Bach. He makes it to the top as well. By the way, it's announced next year Bach is going to ride for the factory beta team, which will be racing GNCC for the first time. Meanwhile, checkered flag coming out. Thad Duvall has crashed on an uphill, and that's why Whibley is out of the woods by himself and takes the AMSOIL Ironman GNCC. And a late crash cost Duvall. He was trying to run Whibley down. Oh, that's a very tall order, and he's got to be happy to at least be on the podium today. And the same thing for the rookie, Chris Bach. Puts his Clockwork Orange KTM up on the podium in the last race of the year. Let's go to Krista in victory lane.
All right, Chris, we're here in your home state of Indiana. I know you really wanted that win before the end of the season, but a podium's still pretty good.
Yeah, we never bummed about a podium, and these guys rode awesome. I put everything I could out on the track today, and I left it all out there. And third's the best I could do, but I rode my heart out, and I felt good, and it was great.
All right, well, great job.
Thank you very much.
And here are your XC1 results. Nice job by Carney and Buttrick to round out the top 5. Let's go talk to Bad.
All right, that has been a while since we've seen you up here on the podium. You had a good race out there today. How did it go for you?
It was good. I got a pretty decent start and got into the woods and just kind of worked my way up to second and just kind of stayed there and dropped back to third a little bit and then made a huge mistake on the hill climb, just got stuck and probably lost a minute to them guys. And, I got going and, my dad said Bach was coming, so I put my head down and charged and I got second, so I'm pretty happy.
Nice way to the end of the year for him, and Jason Thomas tops Jesse Robinson and Stuart Baylor in XC2. Let's talk to Paul Whibley, our overall winner.
All right, Paul, it's your second consecutive win in a row. It's got to feel really good to finally get these out of the way at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's a great way to finish up the year, get back up the front and win some races, and it just builds confidence and momentum for next year. And
how was the race for you out there today?
pretty horrible. Even though I was out front, I think we got in the lappers pretty early on the second lap, and those guys were fighting their way through the dust and kicking up dust, and it was really hard to see, and it was pretty dangerous. I didn't really enjoy it too much at all, but I'm so happy to come away with the win. It's awesome.
Definitely. Well, good job out there.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Krista, and let's check out our race recap for the last time this year. Caleb Russell, in his debut in XC1, grabbed the whole shot on a 254 stroke, lost the lead to Whibley, and then lost his entire race day when he tipped over in a creek. Other riders on the move like Charlie Mullins and Josh Strang, the usual suspects. Strang would work his way all the way to the #1 spot and get around Whibley, and then he gave the lead back here in a field because his air filter had become plugged with dust. In the XC2 class, Jason Thomas takes the win over Stuart Baylor and Jesse Robinson. Late in the race, Thad Duvall and Chris Bach put on strong charges to pressure Paul Whibley, but the Axeman would not be denied. I want to thank all of you for joining us in 2010. For Krista Shaw, I'm Jason Wygant. We'll see you next year.